Welcome back, Principles of Accounting 2 students. We're sitting here looking at Chapter 20. I'm going to cover a couple of very quick concepts that are pretty important for Chapter 20. The first is going to be the high-low method for estimating your fixed and variable costs. You're going to see this in the book. Typically, how this is presented, you're going to get a table that looks like this. This table happens to be monthly sales for Joe's production company. These are the different months of the year. If you're using the Julian or the Gregorian calendar, ooh, I don't remember. But yeah, those are your months of the year. Then we have over here, these are the units produced each month. And if you look, some months have very little production. Some units have a lot of production. And looks like over in the summer has sales tail off, and the winter kind of jumps up a little bit. So it's probably something that has something to do with winter. Could be skiing, could be winter driving, snow tires, who knows? But that's generally what we're going to look at here. And most companies do this. If you're a retail company, you'd have a big spike right here and not much the rest of the year. And then we have total production costs over in this column. And if you see that the total production costs kind of track, they go up in the big months, they go down in the small months. They track what your production looks like. So then the question from a business standpoint is always going to be, what are our fixed costs and what are our variable costs? And if you remember from your reading, the variable costs are the ones that are dependent on how much you're producing. So your variable costs would go up higher in this month, which would be December, and they'd go down in July, as would the total cost. Now we figure out that if the fixed costs stay the same, we just need to figure out how much costs change from your low to your high. We call that the low-high method. And so what I did is I built a little table over here. And all you do for the low-high method is, okay, you look for your high cost. And my high cost is going to be in December. That's going to be $71,000. And you look for your low cost, which is going to be $21,000, which is coming from July. Same thing with your volume. Now volume is your units produced. My 71,000 was produced based on 1,500 units. And my low volume is 250. Okay. Now that I have it, and as you can see, I'm doing it backwards. So let's hold on, because volume should be, there we go. Okay. Volume is in units always, cost would be in dollars. Looking good. So then what they want to know is, what is our change in cost to figure out the high-low method? Well, you just subtract these two. So between our high cost and our low cost, $50,000. Now what's our change in volume? Well, let's see. Here we did 1,500. Here we did 250. Yeah, I could tell I did this backwards this morning. All right, there's my change in volume. All right, there's about a 1,250 unit difference between my big production month, my small production month, and there's a $50,000 difference between my high cost month and my low cost month. So then what we can do, we can take this, divide it by that, and we get $40. Okay, so we're taking our change in cost divided by our change in volume, and that tells us that our variable cost for every unit we produce is $40, which is great. So that means that if I got $22,000 of production cost here, I produced 275 units. If I produced 276 units, it would be $22,040. Okay, that's great. So what about our fixed costs? So for our fixed costs, what they want you to do is you take the total cost, and they say just pick either the high or low. They don't really care. Yeah, so pick the high. All right, I know that for 71,000 for December, it cost me $71,000. Total cost. That's your mixed cost. That's your fixed plus your variable. Of that, I know $40 per unit times 1,500 units, $60,000 of that was variable cost. So the difference, $11,000, is going to be your fixed cost. Very valuable information if you think about it. So our fixed cost here, right? Each month you have $11,000 of fixed cost that you can't shake, and every time you make a unit, it's going to cost you $40. That's great. I'm going to pause here, and I'll reshoot a video with some contribution margin stuff. I'll be back in a second. Have a great one.